Hey guys, so today's tutorial is going to be a little trickier. We're going to try to make macaroons. Everyone knows macaroons are always a struggle, but we're going to make it even harder because we're going to do macaroons and then I'm going to do two filling tutorials, salted caramel and chocolate ganache. So let's see how it goes. So yesterday's meringue tutorial, I started by toasting the sugar and I'm going to do the same thing here. Even though it's a French macaroon recipe, toasting the sugar first will make our meringue a little bit more stable. So while I'm doing that, I sift together my icing sugar and almond flour until they're evenly combined. Once I've toasted up my sugar, I add it to my egg whites and put that on a high speed. I'm looking for stiff peaks. I did go a little stiffer than I normally would here, and that will make your macaroons a little bit hollow. Ideally, you're looking for somewhere between a medium and stiff peak. That just means there's a little bit less air. But when we go to do our macaronage, which is mixing the meringue and the almond flour mixture, we just want to make sure we deflate the meringue as much as we possibly can. That's when people tend to say they're looking for ribbons or lava-like textures. It's really hard to know exactly what consistency you're going for until you've practiced. So this batter is a little thicker than a normal French macaron batter, and that's just because I toasted the sugar and added it while it was hot. I find this makes it a lot harder to overmix, which is a good thing. Once you overmix your batter, you can't really come back from that. Macaroons will all run into each other on the baking tray. To pipe my macaroons, I'm using an Ateco 804 round tip. It's a pretty small tip, which gives me a little bit of control when I'm piping them. If you don't have a tip, you can easily just use a Ziploc bag with the corner cut out. We just want to make them as round as possible. I'm using my tray upside down because it's a tip I learned from at Bake to Jours. I find that it seems to work better for my oven. I'm not really sure why. I am using a silicone baking mat with trace circles on it, but if you don't have that, you can easily trace circles onto a sheet of parchment and use that as well. Usually when you make macarons, when you finish piping them, you want to let them rest, but this is a no rest recipe. So I'm going to add my sprinkles from Sweet Apolita that I got this week. They are the Dream On sprinkles, and I'm going to sprinkle those on immediately after I pipe them. Now once I'm finished sprinkling all of my macarons that I want to have sprinkled, I will start to tap the tray. Now the reason I'm tapping the bottom of the tray is it allows all of those air bubbles to come to the surface. This means that we'll have nice even feet. We won't have any bumps or lumps hopefully when they come out of the oven. If you notice that your macarons still have lumps or bumps and they don't look like they have a smooth surface, this could just simply be because you undermixed your batter. Next time, give it a few more swirls of the spatula and you should be good to go. I put them in the oven and I rotate them once while they're in there. I let them cool on the tray and then I can start to peel them off of the Silpat. You'll notice that I sometimes put my hand under it because I find it's actually a lot easier to press them up from the bottom than pull them up from the top. All of your macaron shells might not be the exact same size, so it's important to pair them to find the ones that are matched as closely as possible. I decided to fill half of these with the Wilton Tootie tip and pipe little rosettes of American vanilla buttercream tinted pink. And then I can push them together. You don't want your filling to go too far outside the sides of your macaron. You kind of just want it to line up with those little feet that you have. And if you only put sprinkles on half of your mac shells, you want to make sure that when you match them up, that one half has sprinkles and the other one doesn't. Our next set of macs is being filled with our chocolate ganache, and then in the center, I'm adding our salted caramel and a sprinkling of Himalayan pink sea salt. You can use any salt, but this is the one I had on hand. I will show you guys later how to make the ganache and the salted caramel in today's bonus tutorials. So after you watch how to make your mac shells while you're letting them cool, you can get started on your ganache and your salted caramel. Because my ganache was at room temperature, I don't want to push too hard. This filling is a little softer than our American buttercream, so I want to push just until it's at the edge of that shell. And then that's it. If they aren't perfect, don't worry. Macarons are just as delicious as regular macarons. I hope you guys were able to follow along as easily as possible with the macaroon tutorial. If it doesn't work, don't worry. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of the times my batches don't turn out either. Just try again until you figure out your oven, your atmosphere. I really like this recipe from my friend at the Purple Cupcake because it's a no rest recipe, which means I don't have to deal with the humidity as much. If you have a recipe where you have to rest your macaroons, try to check out what kind of environment you're in. If you are in a humid environment, you want to make sure that you leave those guys to rest even longer. So there's a few tips and tricks just if you didn't watch the video yet, but if you have any questions, let me know and I can try to help as best as I can.